If you are coming across my channel for the first time, welcome. But change your expectations, because this is not a story of love.
I cannot keep being the one who is not good enough.
Someone hurt my brother, and they are covering it up. Langa! Men, you're back!
Who the hell are you?
I'm his twin sister, and you just confessed.
Langa never saw the shove coming. 1 second, he was standing beside his best friend on the rooftop, and the next, he was falling. The school called it an accident. The police closed the case. And the only person still asking questions was his twin sister, now disguised as him, inside an elite all-boys medical school where everyone mourns his fall, including the friend who pushed him. But the closer she gets to the truth, the more she starts to realize his killer may already suspect who she really is. This is not a story of love, it's that of justice. If you are coming across my channel for the first time, welcome. Here we do a variety of Afro-Korean stories, ranging from smart kids who save the day, arrogant billionaires who meet their match, fearless black women who refuse to stay down after their divorce, and so much more. You may just want to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss out on any story. Cold air hit Langa's face the moment Min-ho opened the rooftop door. It was the kind of cold that made you want to go back inside. The kind that said winter was coming soon. Langa pulled his jacket tighter and looked at his friend. Min-ho seemed weird tonight. His hands kept moving, touching his phone, then his hair, then his pockets. He would not look at Langa properly. His eyes kept sliding away, like when you know you did something wrong but do not want to say it. Just for a little bit, Min-ho said. I need some air. Langa wanted to say no. He had a big test tomorrow morning at 8. He still had so much to study, but Min-ho was his friend, maybe his only real friend at this school, and friends help each other. Okay, Langa said, but just for a few minutes. The door should have been locked. The rooftop was not a place students could go, but when Min-ho pushed it, the door opened easy. He did not look surprised. They walked out onto the roof. Below them, Seoul looked like someone had spilled a million tiny lights across the ground. Buildings reached up toward the sky. Cars moved like little toys on the streets. It was pretty, but it made Langa feel very far from home, very far from his mom's cooking, and his dad's bad jokes, and his sister Thandi stealing food from his plate. Do you ever feel like you should not be here? Min-ho asked. Langa turned to look at him. Every day. But you are number 6 in our whole year. That just means I work hard. It does not mean I fit in. Min-ho made a sound that was almost a laugh, but not quite. My father called me last week. He said my cousin is doing better than me. My cousin goes to a normal school, not even a special one. Do you know how that feels? Langa stepped closer. Min-ho, you are doing good. You are number 9. That is really good. You keep getting better and better. You keep climbing up while I stay the same. And you are so nice about everything. You do not even see what you do to people. Something changed. Langa could feel it, like when the air gets heavy before a storm. His body started to feel scared, even though his brain did not understand why yet. Maybe we should go back, Langa said. I cannot keep being the one who is not good enough. Min-ho's hands came up fast. They hit Langa's chest, not super hard. Not like in movies, just enough. Langa's foot hit something behind him. He reached for the rail, for anything. His fingers grabbed only air. For 1 second, just one, he looked right at Min-ho. Min-ho looked more surprised than Langa felt. Then Langa was falling backward. The lights of Seoul spun above him. His last thought was funny in a strange way. He thought, Thandi is going to be so mad at me. He hit something hard. All the air left his body, like someone had popped a balloon. Then everything went black. 3 months before that night, Langa sat at his family's kitchen table in Johannesburg. His mom was making dinner. The smell of spices and meat filled their small house. His dad was trying to fix the radio again. It had been broken for 2 weeks, but his dad said they could not buy a new one yet. His sister Thandi sat across from him, stealing bites of the bread their mom had put out. She was exactly 3 minutes older than Langa, and she never let him forget it. "Stop eating all the bread," Langa said. "I am not eating all of it. I am eating some of it. Can't you tell? You have had 4 pieces. And you are counting because..." Their mom turned from the stove. "Thandi, leave some for your brother." "Langa, stop counting what your sister eats." Thandi stuck her tongue out at him when their mom was not looking. Langa kicked her foot under the table. She kicked back harder. This was normal. This was every day. This was home. Then their dad made a sound. Everyone looked. He was holding an envelope, the kind that looks important. His hands were shaking. "It came," he said. His voice sounded funny, like he might cry. Their mom dropped the spoon. It clattered on the floor, but she did not pick it up. "The letter." He nodded. Langa's heart started beating so fast. The letter. The one from Hansung Royal Medical College in Seoul. The school that only took the very best students from all over the world. The school he had applied to, but never really thought would say yes. "Open it," Thandi said. She was not teasing now. Her voice was soft. Their dad's hands shook so much their mom had to help him. She pulled out the paper inside. Her eyes moved across the words. Then she looked up at Langa. She was crying. "You got in," she whispered. "Full scholarship. They want you to start in 2 months." The room went quiet. Even the radio their dad had been fixing seemed to stop buzzing. Then everyone was hugging and crying and laughing. Their dad kept saying, my boy," over and over. Their mom was praying and thanking God. Thandi squeezed Langa so hard he could not breathe, but he did not tell her to stop. But then they sat back down. The happy feelings were still there, but now other feelings came too. Worried feelings, scared feelings. "How much do we need?" their dad asked their mom. Their mom looked at the letter again. "The school pays for classes and books and a place to sleep. But we need money for the plane, for food, for other things he will need there." Their dad got his notebook, the one where he wrote down all their money. He wrote numbers, crossed them out, wrote more numbers. His face got more and more worried. "We have some saved," he said slowly, "but not enough. We could sell the car." "We need the car for work," their mom said. "We could ask your brother for a loan. He has his own children to feed." They kept talking. Langa watched them and felt his happy feelings start to die. This was too much money, too much to ask. Maybe he should just say no, stay home, go to a school here. "I will not go," Thandi said. Everyone stopped talking. "What?" their mom said. "To university. I will not go this year. I will work instead. Save money. Go next year." "No," Langa said immediately. "No way." "You got into one of the best schools in the world," Thandi said. She was not looking at him. "I got into a good school here. I can go any time. You cannot." "Thandi, you have been talking about university since you were 10, Langa said. His voice came out loud. "You already told everyone you were going. You bought supplies. And now I am telling everyone I am waiting 1 year. It is not a big deal. It is a huge deal." "Langa is right," their dad said. "You worked so hard, and Langa worked harder." Thandi finally looked at her brother. Her eyes were wet, but she was not crying. "He is smarter than me, better at school. This is his chance, our family's chance. When he becomes a big doctor, he can pay me back." She tried to smile when she said it, tried to make it sound like a joke. But Langa knew his sister. He knew when she was hurting. "I do not want to go if you cannot go," he said. "Well, too bad. I am 3 minutes older, so I get to decide." "That is not how this works." "It is now." Their mom and dad looked at each other. They had that conversation parents have without words. Then their mom reached across the table and took both Langa and Thandi's hands. "Listen to me," she said. "Both of you. Family is not about keeping everything equal. It is not about making sure everyone gets the same. Family is about love. And love means sometimes you give more Sometimes you get more. It all balances out in the end. But Mom, Langa started. No, listen. Thandi is giving you a gift. A big, beautiful gift. You say thank you. You work hard. You make her proud. And someday when you can, you help her too. That is how family works. Langa looked at his sister. She was trying so hard not to cry. Thank you, he whispered. She kicked him under the table. You better become the best doctor ever. I will, and you have to call every week. I promise, and send pictures, okay? And do not forget about us when you are rich and famous. Never. She was crying for real now. So was he. So were their parents. They sold the car. Their dad's brother gave them some money, said it was not a loan. It was family helping family. Their mom's church raised money too. Somehow, they got enough. 2 months later, Langa got on a plane to Seoul. The first few weeks were amazing. Langa sent long messages to Thandi every day. He told her about everything. About the school that looked like a castle. About his tiny room that was still bigger than the one he shared with her at home. About the classes that were hard but good. About the food that tasted strange but interesting. Thandi read every message out loud to their parents. They would sit in the living room after dinner, and she would put the phone on speaker and read. Dear family, she read, doing a silly voice that made everyone laugh. Today, I had my first real anatomy class. We got to see actual hearts, not just pictures. It was so cool. My teacher says I have good hands for surgery. Can you believe it? Also, the cafeteria had bibimbap today. I looked up how to pronounce it. Bibimbap. I tried to make it like Mom makes food, but it is not the same. Nothing is as good as Mom's cooking. Their mom smiled so big when Thandi read that part. 3 weeks later, another message. Dear family, classes are getting harder, but I am keeping up. I am number 12 in my year. There are 100 students, so that is good. I am still getting used to how things work here. Everything is very different. People do things different. But it is okay. I am learning. Their dad said number 12. That is my boy. 6 weeks later. Dear family, I got number 8 on the last test. My roommate Min Ho helped me study. He is nice. Everything is good. How is everyone? How is Thandi's job? The message was shorter. Thandi noticed, but she did not say anything to their parents. 8 weeks later. Everything is fine, just busy with exams. We'll call soon. That message was only 2 sentences. Thandi tried calling. Langa did not answer. She tried again and again. Finally, he sent a text. Sorry, phone broke. We'll call next week. He did not call next week. Thandi tried to tell herself it was fine. He was busy. School was hard. But something felt wrong in her stomach. Something felt bad. Then, one night, 3 in the morning, their mum's phone rang. Thandi woke up to her mum's voice saying, What? What happened? She ran to her parents' room. Her dad was already awake. Her mum's face was white, like all the blood had left it. Yes, their mum said into the phone. Yes, we will come. We will come right now. She hung up. What happened? Thandi asked. Her voice sounded far away, like someone else was talking. Her mum looked at her, then at her dad. Langa was in an accident, she said. He fell from a roof. The world tilted. Is he? Thandi could not finish the question. He is alive, but we need to come now. They packed so fast, threw things in bags without thinking. Their dad went to the bank and took out all their emergency money. Not enough for 3 tickets, only 2. You and Mom go, Thandi said. We cannot leave you, their mom said. I will be fine. Langa needs you more. So her parents got on a plane. Thandi stayed behind and waited and prayed and tried not to think about all the bad things that could happen. Her parents called from the airport in Seoul, then from the taxi, then from the hospital. We are going to see him now, her mom said. Then nothing for 2 hours. When the phone rang again, Thandi grabbed it so fast she almost dropped it. Mom? Oh, baby. Her mom's voice was all broken. Oh, my baby. What is it? Her dad took the phone. He was crying. Her big, strong dad who never cried. He is in a coma, her dad said. They had to stop the swelling in his brain. They said he might not wake up. The phone fell from Thandi's hand. Her friend Yuna found her on the floor an hour later, still sitting there, staring at nothing. 4 days later, Thandi used all the money she had saved to buy a ticket to Seoul. She could not stay away anymore. She needed to see her brother. The hospital was big and white and smelled like chemicals. A nurse took her to Langa's room. She tried to prepare herself, tried to be ready. She was not ready. Langa looked so small in the hospital bed. Tubes everywhere, machines beeping, a bandage around his head. His face was swollen and bruised. Their mom sat in a chair next to him, holding his hand. Their dad stood by the window, looking out but not really seeing anything. "Hi, baby," their mom said when she saw Thandi. But her voice was empty. Thandi walked to the bed, looked down at her brother, her twin, the person she had known her whole entire life. "Hi," she whispered to him. "I am here now." He did not move, did not answer, just the machines beeping, beeping, beeping. The doctor came in later. He was nice, but his eyes were sad. "Your son has severe damage to his brain," he said. "We stopped the swelling, but now we wait. He is in what we call a vegetative state. His body works, but his mind is asleep." "Will he wake up?" their dad asked. "We do not know. Some people wake up after weeks, some after months, some never wake up." "I am very sorry." Their mom made a sound like a hurt animal. "The school said he had been drinking," the doctor continued, "that he went to the roof and fell. The alcohol made him not think clearly." Thandi's head snapped up. "What?" "The school's report says alcohol was involved." "My son does not drink," their mom said. Her voice was hard now, not empty anymore. "He is allergic. He cannot drink." The doctor looked uncomfortable. "I can only tell you what the school reported." "Then the school is lying," Thandi said. The doctor left. The family sat in silence. That night, their parents went back to the tiny cheap hotel near the hospital. Thandi said she wanted to stay with Langa. The nurses said okay. She pulled the chair close to his bed, took his hand. It was warm but still. He did not squeeze back. "Hey," she said softly. "It is me, Thandi, your annoying sister." "Nothing." "Mom and Dad are here. They are so worried. Dad cannot even look at you for too long. It makes him too sad. Mom has not stopped praying." The machines beeped. "I need you to wake up," she whispered. "I need you to tell me what happened. Because I know you. You do not drink. You do not go on roofs. Something is wrong." She stayed next to him all night, sometimes talking, sometimes just sitting. Over the next few days, she barely left. The nurses started to know her. One old nurse, very kind, told her that sometimes people in comas can hear, that she should keep talking. So Thandi walked. She told Langa about home, about their neighbor's cat that kept getting stuck in trees, about how their dad was trying to grow tomatoes, about Yuna's new boyfriend who seemed nice but wore too much cologne. She told him everything except the thing she was really thinking. On the 4th day, she finally said it. "I have been thinking about what happened," she said quietly. She looked at the door to make sure no one was listening. "The school said you were drinking, but you do not drink. You never have. So either you suddenly started, which makes no sense, or..." She stopped, took a breath. "Did someone push you?" The machine next to Langa's bed started beeping fast and loud. The line on the screen jumped up and down. Thandi stood up so fast, her chair fell over. "Langa!" The beeping got louder. His heart was going so fast. Nurses ran in. Her dad came through the door, her mum right behind him. "What did you do?" the nurse asked. "Not mean, just urgent." "I just asked him something," Thandi said. The nurse checked all the machines, checked Langa. After a minute, his heart started to slow down, back to normal. But something had definitely happened. "What did you ask?" the head nurse said carefully. Thandi looked at her brother's face, at the machines, at her parents. "I asked if someone pushed him." Her mum sat down hard. Her dad grabbed the door like he might fall. The room went very quiet, except for the beep, beep, beep. Thandi walked out into the hallway. Her brain was going so fast, her brother could hear her. He had reacted to her question. Someone had pushed him. Someone at that school had hurt her brother and then lied about it, and she was going to find out who. She went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on her face, looked at herself in the mirror. When she came out, Yuna was there. She must have come straight from the airport because she still had her bag. I got on the first plane, Yuna said. Are you okay? No. They went to the cafeteria, got terrible coffee, sat in a corner. Tell me everything, Yuna said. So Thandi did. The accident, the lies about drinking, the question, the way Langa's heart had reacted. Someone at that school hurt him, Thandi said, and they are covering it up. So what do we do? Call the police and say what? I have no proof, just a feeling and a beeping machine. The school already said it was an accident. Who will believe me? They sat quiet for a minute. What if you went there? Yuna said. Where? To the school. Ask questions. As his sister. Thandi shook her head. It is an all-boys school. Super expensive. Super private. They would never let me just walk around asking things. More quiet. People moved around them. Doctors and nurses and families. Everyone with their own sad stories. Then Thandi said, very slow, what if I did not go as his sister? Yuna looked at her. What do you mean? Langa is supposed to be in a coma for a long time, months maybe. The school thinks he might never wake up. If someone does not hold his place, he loses everything. The scholarship, the spot, everything our family gave up for him. Thandi, we are twins. We look almost the same. His classes are in English. I can do the work. She looked at Yuna. And if I am inside the school, I can find out what really happened. You want to pretend to be your brother? Yes, at an all-boys medical school. Yes, Korea, yes. Yuna stared at her. Then, she started laughing, but not the happy kind. The kind that happens when things are so crazy. You do not know what else to do. You have lost your mind, I know. Your parents will never let you. I will not tell them. Thandi. He is my brother, Yuna. Her voice broke. I let him come here alone. I was not there when someone hurt him, but I can be there now. I can protect what he built, and I can find out who did this to him. Yuna was quiet for a long time. Then she said, you will need a good reason for why Langa does not remember things right. Thandi's heart jumped. You will help me? I think you are completely crazy. I also think if it was my brother, I would do the same thing. They stayed up all night making a plan. They planted a rumor about memory loss. Made it sound real. Made it sound like something that happened to people with brain injuries. At 4 a.m, Thandi went to the hotel bathroom. Yuna had brought scissors. You sure? Yuna asked. Cut it. Her long hair fell to the floor in pieces. When Yuna was done, Thandi looked in the mirror. She looked exactly like Langa. She barely knew herself. 3 days later, the rumor was all over the school's message boards. Students were talking about it. Poor Langa Dlamini survived but cannot remember anything from before the fall. 1 week later, Thandi stood outside the school gates. She wore Langa's uniform, carried his ID card, had practiced his walk, his voice, his everything. She took a deep breath and walked through the gates of Hansung Royal Medical College. The first thing Thandi noticed when she walked into Hansung Royal Medical College was how quiet, expensive places were. At her school back home, there was always noise, people laughing, yelling, music playing from someone's phone. Here students walked in groups, but talked in low voices, like they were in a library even when they were outside. The second thing she noticed was how everyone looked at her. Not curious looks, not friendly looks, cold looks. Some looked away fast. Others stared longer, like they were trying to figure something out. She kept her head down and walked toward the main building. She had studied maps of this place for days. She knew where to go. Room 3B. Langa's dorm room. The hallways were marble. Actual marble. Shiny and cold. There were paintings on the walls that looked old and important. Everything smelled clean, like lemons and money. She found the room. 3rd floor, end of the hall. The door had a small nameplate. Langa Dlamini, Minho Park. Her hand shook when she touched the door handle. Behind this door was her brother's life, the life he had lived without her, the life that had led to a rooftop and a fall and machines beeping in a hospital. The door was unlocked. She pushed it open. The room was small but nice. 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 small closets. One side was messy with papers and clothes. The other side was neat. Langa's side. Thandi walked to his desk. There were pictures in frames, their family, Mum and Dad on their wedding day, Thandi and Langa at graduation. Her throat got tight. His textbooks were stacked perfect. His bed was made. Even his pens were lined up straight. She sat on his bed, and the tears came before she could stop them. This was where he slept, where he studied, where he was alone in a country so far from home. A knock on the door made her jump. She wiped her face fast. Yeah? The door opened. A boy stood there, tall, nice-looking, with dark hair that fell in his eyes. He had a smile that seemed friendly, warm even. Langa, man, you are back. We were all so worried. Thandi's brain went into panic mode. This was it. First test. She stood up, made herself smile a little, made her voice sound uncertain. Hey. Sorry, things are still kind of foggy. My memory is not great. Oh right, yeah, they said that might happen. Brain stuff is scary. He walked in, dropped his bag on the messy bed. It is me, Minho, your roommate. The world tilted. This was Minho, the boy who had been on the roof with Langa, the boy no one knew had pushed him. He was standing right there, smiling, acting like everything was normal. Thandi made herself move forward, made herself shake his hand. His hand was warm, normal. He squeezed her hand in a friendly way. Really good to have you back, Minho said. This room was too quiet without you. He sounded like he meant it. His eyes looked concerned and happy at the same time. Thandi did not know what to think. Was he a good actor? Or was he actually a friend who had nothing to do with what happened? Thanks, she managed to say. It is good to be back, I think. You think? Minho laughed a little. Well, this place is pretty terrible, so that makes sense. But at least the food got better. They finally fired that one lunch lady who made everything taste like soap. He kept talking, unpacking his bag, telling her about classes and tests, and some fight that happened in the cafeteria last week. He seemed so normal, so nice. Thandi sat back on the bed and pretended to listen, but really she was watching him, studying him, trying to see if there was something mean or dangerous under the friendly face. She could not tell. After Minho left to go to the library, Thandi sat in the quiet room. She pulled out her phone and texted Yuna. I am in, met the roommate. Cannot tell if he is friend or enemy. Yuna texted back fast. Be careful, trust no one. That night, Thandi barely slept. Every sound made her jump. When Minho came back late, she pretended to be asleep. She listened to him move around in the dark, getting ready for bed. Was this the person who hurt her brother? Or was she sleeping 3 feet away from an innocent person, while the real bad guy walked free somewhere else in this school? The next morning, Minho's alarm went off at 6. Thandi had been awake since 5. Morning, Minho said, his voice all scratchy from sleep. First class is at 8, but breakfast is better if you go early. Less crowded. They walked to the dining hall together. Minho pointed things out along the way. The bulletin board where grades got posted. The courtyard where people hung out between classes. The science building where most of their classes were. The dining hall was huge. Long tables, high ceilings, windows that let in grey morning light, and it was full of groups. Thandi saw it immediately. The invisible lines that divided the room. Rich kids on one side, their uniforms perfect, their watches shiny. Scholarship kids on the other side, their uniforms a little worn, their backpacks stuffed too full. We usually sit over there, Minho said, pointing to a table in the middle. They got food, rice, soup, some fish, fruit. Thandi was so nervous she could barely eat, but she forced herself. Langa would eat. She had to be Langa. They sat down. A few other boys were already there. They looked up when Thandi sat down. "Oh man, Langa, you are alive," one of them said. He had a round face and seemed genuinely happy. "We thought you died." "Almost," Thandi said quietly. "Do you really not remember anything?" another boy asked. This one had glasses and looked curious in a scientific way, like Thandi was an interesting experiment. "Not much. Some things are blurry. That is so weird. Like, do you remember us?" Thandi shook her head. "Sorry, do not be sorry. That is not your fault," Roundface said. "I am Jay. This is Chin-hei. We have anatomy together." They seemed nice. They talked about normal things. Classes, teachers, some video games Thandi had never heard of. Then someone bumped her chair from behind, hard. Thandi turned. 3 boys stood there. They all had that look, the rich look. The look that said they had never worried about money or food or anything real in their whole lives. "Oops," one of them said. He did not sound sorry. "Watch it," Minho said. His voice had an edge to it. "Or what?" The boy leaned down. "You going to cry to administration again?" "Oh wait, they do not care about scholarship trash." "Just walk away, Dongyun," Minho said. "Make me." Thandi could feel everyone watching. The whole dining hall had gone quiet. She did not know what to do. What would Langa do? From what she knew, Langa was quiet. Careful, he did not make trouble. "It is fine," Thandi said quietly. "No problem." Dongyun smiled mean. "That is what I thought." He walked away. His friends followed, laughing. The dining hall noise started again. Everyone went back to their breakfast. But Thandi's food was on the floor. When Dongyun had bumped her, her tray had fallen. Rice and soup everywhere. "Those guys are such jerks," Jay said. Minho was already getting napkins. "Come on, I will help you clean up." They cleaned in silence. Other people walked past, stepping over the mess. No one else helped. When they were done, Thandi was not hungry anymore. "Does that happen a lot?" she asked Minho quietly. He looked uncomfortable. "Sometimes. The rich kids think they own the place, and technically they kind of do. Their families donate tons of money. And administration does not care. Administration cares about money more than fairness." Thandi felt sick. This was what Langa had dealt with every day. This was his normal. Classes were hard, but also easier than Thandi expected. She was actually good at this stuff. Better than Langa, even though she would never say that out loud. In anatomy, the professor called on her. She answered correctly. He looked surprised. "Good, Dlamini. Your focus seems to have improved." A few students turned to look at her. She kept her face blank. At lunch, she sat with Minho and Jay and Chin-hei again. They talked about the upcoming test. Thandi mostly listened, trying to understand the social dynamics. Who was friends with who? Who had power? Who did not? She noticed Dongyun and his friends sat at the best table, the one by the big windows. Teachers walked past them and smiled, said hello. They were untouchable. After lunch, she had a free period. Minho went to meet his study group. Thandi said she was going to the library. The library was beautiful. 3 floors, spiral staircase, huge windows, shelves and shelves of books. Thandi found a corner on the 3rd floor, pulled out her phone, texted her mom. "Hi mom, how is Langa today?" Her mom answered fast. "Same, no change. Where are you?" "At work." The lie tasted bad. "Tell him I said hi." "I will, baby. Love you." "Love you too." Thandi put her phone away and pulled out Langa's biochemistry textbook. The midterm was in 2 days. She needed to maintain his grades, or people would get suspicious. She studied for 3 hours straight. When she finally looked up, the sun was setting. The library was almost empty. "You are doing it wrong." Thandi turned fast. A boy stood there, tall, probably her age, but something about him seemed older. He wore the same uniform as everyone else, but somehow it looked more expensive on him. His face was handsome in a cold way, sharp, like it had been carved instead of grown. "Excuse me?" Thandi said. "That formula you were working on, you are approaching it wrong." He walked closer, pointed at her notes on the table. "You are trying to memorize when you should be understanding how it works." Thandi felt annoyed. I understand it fine. Then, why did you write the wrong answer? She looked down. He was right. She had been staring at this so long the numbers were blurring together. I am tired, she muttered, obviously. He pulled out the chair across from her and sat down. Did not ask permission, just sat. You are Langa Dlamini, not a question. A statement, yeah. I am Kang Ji-woo, the name registered. Thandi had heard it in the hallways in whispered conversations. Kang Ji-woo, top of their entire year, from one of the richest families in Korea. Untouchable in a different way than Dong-yun, not mean untouchable, scary, smart untouchable. Okay, Thandi said carefully. You used to be number 6 in our year, before your accident, so I heard. Ji-woo studied her with eyes that were too observant, too sharp, like he was looking through her instead of at her. You seem different, he said. Thandi's heart kicked into panic mode. Memory loss does that to people. He did not sound convinced, but he pulled out his own notebook. The midterm covers chapters 6 through 12. You are wasting time on chapter 7. It is only 10% of the exam. Focus on 9 and 11. Why are you helping me? I am not helping you. I am preventing you from failing and bringing down our year's average. But something in his voice did not match his words. Something almost kind under the cold. They studied in silence for an hour. Ji-woo would occasionally point at her notes, explain something in a way that made it suddenly click in her brain. Thandi hated that he was good at this, hated that she was grateful. When the library announced closing time, they both packed up. Same time tomorrow, Ji-woo said. Not asking, I did not agree to that. You will. He walked away without looking back. Thandi stood there, feeling confused and annoyed and a little bit scared. Because Kang Ji-woo had looked at her like he could see something no one else could. She walked back to the dorm. Halfway across the courtyard, she glanced back. Ji-woo was on his phone, leaning against a wall, but his eyes were on her. She walked faster. The next few days blurred together. Classes, studying, pretending to be her brother. It was exhausting in ways Thandi had not expected. Not just the acting, the loneliness. Langa had been alone here. Really alone. Yes, he had Minho. Yes, he had Jae and Chin-hae. But Thandi could feel it. The distance, the being different, the not quite fitting. Every meal, she sat with the scholarship kids and felt the rich kids' eyes on them. Every class she worked twice as hard as the students whose families owned hospitals and pharmaceutical companies. Every night, she lay in bed and listened to Minho sleep 3 feet away and wondered if he was a murderer. On the 4th day, she went back to the library. Ji-woo was already there, at the same table. You are late, he said without looking up. I did not know we had an appointment. We do, every day at 7. You are very bossy. And you are very behind in biochemistry. Thandi wanted to argue, but he was right. She sat down. They studied. Ji-woo explained concepts with the patience of someone, teaching a not very bright dog a simple trick. It should have been insulting, but somehow it worked. Things that had seemed impossible started making sense. After an hour, Thandi said, Can I ask you something? You just did. Funny. Can I ask you another something? Ji-woo looked up. Depends on the something. Why are you really helping me? And do not say the thing about the year average. I know that is not the real reason. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, You were improving. Before the accident, every test you got a little better, a little faster. You actually cared about learning, not just about grades. That is rare here. Past tense. I was improving. Yes, past tense. You do not think I can do it again. I think you are trying very hard to pretend to be someone you were. But pretending takes energy. Energy you should be using to actually learn. Thandi's blood went cold. What does that mean? Ji-woo looked at her with those 2 smart eyes. It means stop trying to remember who you were and focus on who you are now. The midterm does not care about your memory loss. It only cares if you know the material. He was right, and he had no idea how right he was. Okay, Thandi said. Then teach me. Something almost like a smile crossed Ji-woo's face. Finally, a smart decision. They studied for 3 more hours. By the time the library closed, Thandi's brain hurt, but she understood everything that confused her before. Thank you, she said as they walked out. Ji-woo nodded. Do not make me waste my time by failing. Such a kind person you are. I know. I am a delight. Was that a joke? Thandi looked at him. His face was serious, but his eyes had a tiny bit of light in them. Did you just make a joke? She asked. No, you definitely just joked. Prove it. Thandi laughed. She could not help it. Ji-woo's mouth twitched, like maybe he wanted to smile, but had forgotten how. They walked across the courtyard in silence. It was a different silence than before, less uncomfortable. Can I ask you something now? Ji-woo said. I guess that is fair. What do you remember about the night you fell? Thandi's good mood vanished. Nothing. Why? Because I was there that night. In the courtyard, I saw you and Min-ho heading toward the east stairwell, the one that leads to the roof. Thandi stopped walking. The roof access is locked. It is supposed to be. But someone had been jamming the lock for weeks. Everyone knew. Did you tell anyone? The administration? The police? I told the dean. He said he would look into it. He did not. Why not? Ji-woo looked at her. Because Min-ho's father donated the new science wing. Rich people's children do not push people off roofs. According to this school, rich people's children do not do anything wrong. Anger filled Thandi's chest, hot and sharp. That is garbage. Yes, but that is how the world works. Then the world is wrong. Also yes. But knowing something is wrong and being able to fix it are 2 different things. They started walking again. Thandi's mind was racing. Ji-woo had seen them. He had tried to say something. No one had listened. Do you think Min-ho pushed Langa? Thandi asked quietly. Using her brother's name felt weird, like talking about a stranger. I think something happened on that roof that was not an accident. I think the school covered it up. I think you are lucky to be alive. Ji-woo stopped at the entrance to the dorms. And I think you are different than you were before. Not just memory loss different, everything different. He walked away before Thandi could respond. She stood there in the dark, her heart pounding. Ji-woo suspected something. He was too smart not to. She needed to be more careful. The midterm was in 2 days. Then she would have breathing room to actually investigate. She went back to her room. Min-ho was at his desk, studying. Hey, he said. How was the library? Fine. Productive. Good. You want to do a practice test together? I made flashcards. He held up a stack of cards with that same friendly smile. Thandi looked at him. Really looked. Tried to see past the nice exterior. Tried to see if there was something dark underneath. She could not tell. And that scared her more than anything. Sure, she said. Flashcards sound good. They studied until midnight. Min-ho made terrible jokes about the Krebs cycle. He brought them both tea from the common room. He cheered when Thandi got a hard question right. He seemed like a good person, a good friend. But Langa's heart had spiked when Thandi asked if someone pushed him. Someone had hurt her brother, and Min-ho had been there. Thandi did not sleep that night. The day of the midterm. Thand felt like she might throw up, not because of the test, because of everything. The lying, the pretending, the not knowing who to trust. She sat in the exam hall. 3 hours. 50 questions plus 2 essays. She finished in 2 hours and 30 minutes, checked her answers 3 times, turned it in. The professor looked surprised. Done already, Dlamini? Yes, sir. Feeling confident? Feeling tired, sir. He almost smiled. Get some rest. Thandi walked out. Other students were still hunched over their papers, writing frantically. She went outside. The courtyard was empty. Cold air hit her face. She breathed it in deep. Her phone buzzed. Her mom. Langa opened his eyes today, just for a second. Doctor says it is a good sign. Thandi's knees went weak. She sat down hard on a bench. Her brother was waking up. He was coming back. She texted back with shaking hands. That is amazing, Mom. I am so happy. And she was so happy, but also terrified, because when Langa woke up, he would tell everyone what happened, and Thandi would not be needed here anymore. She had a limited amount of time to find the truth. She stood up, wiped her eyes, made a decision. She was going to that rooftop tonight. She needed to see where it happened, needed to understand. That night, she waited until Minho fell asleep. Then she slipped out of the room quiet as she could. The school was different at night, darker. The marble hallways echoed with every step. Emergency lights cast weird shadows. She found the east stairwell, the one Ji-woo had mentioned. The door at the top had a lock, but when she tried it, it opened easy. Someone had stuffed paper in the mechanism, just like Ji-woo said. The rooftop was cold and windy. The city spread out below, a million lights in the darkness. Thandi walked to the edge, looked down. This was where Langa had fallen. Right here, she could picture it. Him standing here, someone behind him, hands pushing. The tears came fast and angry. She sat down, back against the wall, and cried. For her brother, for the pain he must have felt, for the fear. You should not be here. Thandi jumped so hard she nearly screamed. Ji-woo stood in the doorway. What are you doing here? Thandi managed to say. Her voice was all wrong from crying. I followed you. You left the dorm at 11:30, which is after curfew, and headed toward the stairs, which are off limits, so I followed. That is creepy. That is observant. He walked closer. This is where you fell, where Langa fell, the way he said it. The pause between you and Langa. Thandi's heart stopped. What are you saying? She whispered. Ji-woo stood a few feet away. The city lights behind him made his face hard to read. I am saying that Langa Dlamini was quiet, timid. He sat in the back of every class. He never corrected professors, even when they were clearly wrong. He apologized when people bumped into him. Ji-woo took a step closer. You corrected Professor Kim in front of the entire lecture hall last week. You take up space. You look people in the eye. When you are angry, you sit in the front row. Thandi could not breathe. Memory loss does not change personality. Ji-woo continued. It does not change the fundamental way someone moves through the world. You are not Langa Dlamini. You are too angry, too fierce, too willing to fight back. Silence. Just the wind and the city noise far below. So who are you? Ji-woo asked. And what are you really doing here? Thandi had two choices. Lie and hope he believed her, or tell the truth and hope he helped her. She looked at Ji-woo's face, at his two smart eyes, at the way he stood, waiting patiently for an answer. She made her choice. I am Thandi, she said quietly. Langa's twin sister, and I am here to find out who pushed my brother off this roof. Ji-woo stared at her for a long moment. The wind blew his hair across his face, but he did not move, did not blink. Thandi waited. Her heart was beating so hard she could hear it in her ears. She had just told her biggest secret to someone she barely knew, someone who could destroy everything with one phone call to administration. His twin sister, Ji-woo said finally. Not a question. He was processing information, filing it away in that scary smart brain of his. Yes, you cut your hair, bound your chest, learned to walk like him, studied his mannerisms, took his place at one of the hardest medical schools in Asia. Ji-woo's voice was flat. Impressed or angry, Thandi could not tell. That is either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. Can it be both? Usually is. They stood in silence. The city hummed below them. Somewhere far away, a siren wailed. Are you going to turn me in? Thandi asked. That depends. On what? On whether you are telling the truth. And on whether you actually have a plan, or if you are just here flailing around hoping to stumble on answers. Thandi felt her face get hot. I have a plan. Tell me. I am maintaining Langa's grade so no one gets suspicious. I am watching everyone, especially Minho. I am looking for evidence. I am trying to find out what really happened. And how is that going? Slow. Ji-woo made a sound that might have been a laugh, but probably was not. Slow because you have no idea what you are doing. I am doing the best I can. Your best will get you caught. Then what? You get expelled. Langa loses his scholarship. Your family loses everything they sacrificed, and whoever pushed him gets away with it. Ji-woo's voice was hard now. You need help. Are you offering? I am telling you that investigating alone is idiotic. 2 people can cover more ground. Ask better questions. Watch each other's backs. Why would you help me? Ji-woo looked out at the city. For the first time since Thandi had met him, he seemed uncertain. Vulnerable even, because I saw you, that night. Both of you. Min-ho looked agitated, nervous. Langa looked confused, like he did not know why he was there, and I did nothing. His jaw tightened. I went back to my room, studied for a test, and 2 hours later, ambulances were outside. If I had said something, done something, maybe your brother would not be in a hospital bed right now. That is not your fault. Maybe not, but I can help fix it now, so I will. Thandi felt something tight in her chest loosen. She was not alone anymore. Okay, she said. Help me. First rule, stop coming to the rooftop alone at night. You want to get caught? No. Then act like it. Second rule, stop being so obvious. You are watching Min-ho like a detective in a bad movie. He is going to notice. He has not noticed yet. He is not observant, but other people are. Third rule, we need to figure out motive. Why would Min-ho push Langa? What did he gain? Thandi thought about this. Rankings maybe? Langa was number 6. Min-ho was number 9. If Langa was gone, Min-ho could move up. Possible. But murdering someone to move up 3 seems extreme. There has to be more. Then we find out what more is. They went back inside, walked down the stairs together. At the bottom, Ji-woo stopped. Tomorrow after classes, meet me in the library. 3rd floor, back corner. We will make a real plan. Okay. And Thandi. It was the first time he had used her real name. It sounded strange and good at the same time. Yeah, be careful. Whoever did this has already pushed one person off a roof. They will not hesitate to do it again if they feel threatened. He walked away before she could respond. Thandi went back to her room, slipped into bed quiet as she could. Min-ho was still asleep, breathing steady and slow. She looked at the ceiling and tried to make sense of everything. Ji-woo knew the truth. He was going to help her. This was good, but it was also terrifying, because now someone else's safety depended on her keeping this secret. The next day dragged by. Classes felt twice as long. Thandi kept checking the clock. Finally, her last class ended. 3rd floor, back corner, just like Ji-woo said. He was already there with his laptop open and a notebook covered in neat handwriting. You are late, he said. By 2 minutes. Still late. Thandi sat down. What did you find? I pulled the class rankings for the past year. Looked at who moved up and down. Checked social media. Talked to some people. And Min-ho was failing 2 classes last semester. His father threatened to pull him out of school. Send him to military service instead. Then suddenly, right before finals, Min-ho's grades jumped up. Not a little. Study lot. Maybe he cheated. Thandi leaned forward. How would he cheat? Lots of ways. Stolen tests. Paid someone to take exams. Hacked the system. Ji-woo pulled up a file on his laptop, but I think he had help. Look at this. He turned the screen. It showed a message board. The kind students used to talk anonymously. This is from 3 months ago, Ji-woo said. Someone posted asking where to buy exam answers. The post got deleted fast, but I found it in an archive. You think that was Min-ho? I think it might have been, and I think someone saw it. Someone who could use it against him. Like blackmail? Exactly like blackmail. Thandi's mind raced. So someone blackmailed Min-ho, threatened to tell about the cheating unless he did something. That is my theory. But what would they make him do? Push Langa? Ji-woo frowned. That is where it gets complicated. What would anyone gain from Langa being gone? They sat quiet for a minute thinking. Then Thandi said slowly, what if it was not about Langa specifically? What if it was about the scholarship spot? Explain. There are only 5 full scholarships per year. If a scholarship student leaves or gets expelled, that spot opens up. Someone else could take it. Ji-woo's eyes widened. That is actually smart. Do not sound so surprised. I am surprised you thought of it, yes. Rude, accurate. But he was almost smiling. Okay. So who would want a scholarship spot bad enough to blackmail someone into murder? Someone who is smart but poor. Someone who did not get in the first time. Someone who has been waiting for a chance. They looked at each other. We need to find out who applied for scholarships and did not get them, Thandi said. Already did. Ji-woo pulled out a printed list. 32 people applied, 5 got in, including Langa. The other 27 did not. That is a lot of people. But most of them got into other schools. They moved on. Only 3 are still in Seoul, still trying to get into Hansung specifically. He circled 3 names on the list. Park Seo-jun, Kim Da-yoon, Lee Tae-yang. I know that last name, Thandi said. Lee Tae-yang. He is in our biochemistry class. Yes. 2nd-year student. Smart, but not quite smart enough to get the scholarship. His family is poor. Father is sick. Mother works 3 jobs. Ji-woo looked up. He has motive. Motive is not proof. No. But it is a start. They decided to watch Tae-yang. See who he talked to, where he went, what he did. For 3 days, they followed him between classes, ate lunch near him, studied in the same library sections. Tae-yang seemed normal. He studied hard, sat alone mostly, looked tired and stressed but not guilty. On the 4th day, Thandi saw something. She was walking past the science building when she saw Tae-yang and Min-ho talking in the courtyard. They were standing close, voices low. Min-ho looked upset. Tae-yang looked calm. Thandi could not hear what they were saying, but she pulled out her phone and pretended to text while actually recording video. After a minute, Min-ho walked away fast. His hands were in fists. His face was red. Tae-yang watched him go, then he smiled. Not a nice smile, a satisfied smile. Thandi's blood went cold. She found Ji-woo in the library, showed him the video. We need audio, Ji-woo said. How do we get that? Leave that to me. The next day, Ji-woo arrived at their meeting spot with a tiny device. It looked like a pen, but it was actually a microphone. This will record anything within 10 feet, he said. Plant it somewhere Min-ho and Tae-yang talk regularly. How did you get this? My father owns a security company. I borrowed it. You stole it. Borrowed implies I will return it. So yes, I stole it. Thandi almost laughed. Ji-woo's deadpan humor was growing on her. They figured out that Min-ho and Tae-yang both had anatomy lab on Thursday afternoons. The lab had lockers where students kept their equipment. On Thursday morning, Thandi volunteered to help the lab assistant set up. While he was in the supply closet, she slipped the recording pen into the vent above Min-ho's locker. Then she waited. That afternoon felt like the longest afternoon of Thandi's life. She sat through classes, but did not hear anything the professors said. Her mind was on that pen, recording every word. Finally, classes ended. She met Ji-woo in their usual spot. Did you get it? He asked. Got it. She handed him the pen. He plugged it into his laptop, opened the audio file. At first, it was just normal sounds. People talking about assignments, lockers, opening and closing, footsteps. Then, clear as anything, Min-ho's, I cannot do this anymore. Tae-yang's voice, calm and cold. You do not have a choice. I already did what you asked. Langa has a terrible head injury. He won't be able to keep. You said that would be enough. I said I needed him dead. Not walking around school with that stupid proud look on his face. Now I need you to do something else. What? You have to finish what you started. He may have lost his memories, but that doesn't mean he lost his intelligence too. You would be dumb if you thought that. Change of plans, I need him to fail the next exam. How am I supposed to do that? Figure it out. Steal his notes. Distract him. I do not care. Just make sure he fails badly enough to lose his spot. And if I do not, then I tell an administration about the exam answers you bought last semester. Show them the proof. You get expelled. Your father disowns you. You end up in military service, or worse, silence. Then Minho's voice, broken and scared. I never wanted to hurt Langa. You said just scare him. Make him think about leaving. And you took it too far. Pushed too hard. That is not my fault. He almost died, but he did not. So stop whining and do what I tell you. Footsteps. A locker slamming. Then silence. Thandi and Ji-woo looked at each other. We have him, Thandi whispered. Ji-woo's face was hard, angry. We need to take this to the police. Will they believe us? We got this recording illegally. I do not care. This is a confession. Thandi thought fast. If we go to the police now, they will investigate. That will take time. Tae-yang might destroy evidence, and I will get caught. Langa will lose his scholarship. So what do you want to do? I want to confront him. Get him to confess again on a legal recording, then go to the police with everything. Ji-woo shook his head. That is dangerous, I know, but it is the only way to protect Langa's spot here and make sure Tae-yang actually pays for what he did. They argued for 20 minutes. Finally, Ji-woo gave in. Fine, but we do this smart. Public place. Multiple witnesses nearby, and I am with you the whole time. They made a plan. The next day was Saturday. The library was open but not crowded. Perfect. Thandi sent Tae-yang a message from a fake account. Said she had information about the scholarship spots. Asked to meet. He showed up at 2 in the afternoon, right on time. Thandi was sitting at a table on the second floor, close enough to other students that they could hear if anything went wrong, far enough that the conversation would be private. Ji-woo sat 3 tables away, laptop open, looking like he was studying, but really he was recording everything on his phone. Tae-yang walked up. He looked confused. You said you had information, he said. Sit down, Thandi said. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. He sat. I know what you did, Thandi said quietly. I know you blackmailed Minho into pushing me off the roof. I know you are trying to get rid of my scholarship so you can take my spot. Tae-yang's face went white, then red, then carefully blank. I have no idea what you are talking about. Your memory is jammed. Yes, you do, and I have proof. What proof? Thandi pulled out her phone, played the recording from the lab. Tae-yang listened. With each word, his expression got harder, meaner. When it finished, he leaned back, crossed his arms. That recording is illegal. You cannot use it. Maybe. But I can give it to the police. Let them investigate. Even if the recording does not hold up in court, Minho will tell them everything. Once he knows I have proof, he will turn on you to save himself. Tae-yang's jaw clenched. Minho is weak. He will not say anything. Are you sure? Because he sounded pretty guilty on that recording. Pretty scared. People like that talk when they are cornered. You are bluffing. Try me. They stared at each other. Thandi's heart was beating so hard she thought it might explode, but she kept her face calm, bored even. Finally, Tae-yang leaned forward. You want to know the truth? Fine. Yes, I blackmailed Minho. Yes, I told him to scare you into leaving. It was supposed to be simple, just a threat, just enough to make you want to go home. His voice was bitter now, angry. But Minho is an idiot. He pushed too hard, literally. That was not part of the plan. So you are saying it is Minho's fault? I am saying I gave him a job and he messed it up. The job was to hurt my brother. Your brother? Tae-yang's eyes narrowed, then widened. Wait, what? He exclaimed. Oh no, you are not Langa, are you? The memory loss is bullshit, isn't it? I knew it. Knew no one could survive a fall like that, Tae-yang said slowly. A mean smile spread across his face. Who are you then? His twin brother. You are pretending to be Langa. That is fraud. That is illegal. You are committing a crime right now. His twin sister, and you committed attempted murder. The words may have shattered his eardrums, cause of the way his heart started beating. I did not attempt anything. I just talked. Minho did the action. Good luck proving otherwise. He stuttered anxiously, standing up. Here is what is going to happen. You are going to delete that recording. You are going to leave this school. and you are going to keep your mouth shut. Because if you say one word to anyone, I will tell administration who you really are. Langa will lose his scholarship. Your family will have to pay back all the money the school spent on him. That is tens of thousands of dollars. Can your family afford that? He walked away before Thandi could answer. She sat there shaking. She had messed up, revealed herself, made everything worse. Ji-woo appeared beside her. Breathe, he said quietly. I ruined everything. No, you got him to confess. I recorded all of it, video and audio. Thandi looked up. What? Ji-woo showed her his laptop screen. The camera had been running the whole time. Clear video of Tae-yang's face. Clear audio of every word he said. He confessed to blackmail and conspiracy, Ji-woo said. This will hold up. This is legal because we are in a public place and he was not coerced. But he knows who I am now. He will tell. Let him. We are going to the police right now. Today. Before he has a chance to do anything. They went to the police station together, brought the recordings, explained everything. Police listened. Took notes. Looked serious. This is a complicated case, the detective said. International student. Prestigious school. We will need to investigate thoroughly. How long will that take? Thandi asked. Weeks, maybe months. I do not have months. My brother is waking up. When he does, everyone will know I am not him. The detective looked sympathetic but firm. I understand, but we have to follow procedure. In the meantime, I suggest you tell the school the truth. Explain the situation. Maybe they will be understanding. Thandi and Ji-woo left the station, walked in silence for a while. What are you going to do? Ji-woo asked. I do not know. Her phone buzzed. Her mom. Langa is awake. He is asking for you. Thandi stopped walking. Read the message again. Her brother was awake. Really awake. I have to go, she said to Ji-woo. I have to see him. Go. I will handle things here. What things? I will talk to the dean. Explain what happened. Use my family's influence to make sure Langa keeps his scholarship. Why would you do that? Ji-woo looked at her with those serious eyes. Because what you did was insane and illegal, and also kind of amazing. You risked everything for your brother. That's something I'm privileged to experience. Thandi did not know what to say, so she just said, thank you. Go, be with your family. She went to the hospital, ran through the halls, burst into Langa's room. He was sitting up in bed, thin and pale, but awake. His eyes were open. Thandi? His voice was scratchy and weak, but it was his voice. She started crying, could not help it, ran to his bed and hugged him careful, so careful, afraid she might break him. You are okay, she sobbed. You are okay. Why do you have short hair? He asked, confused. Their parents laughed through their tears. Thandi laughed too. Long story, she said. Over the next few days, everything came out. Thandi told Langa what she had done, told her parents, explained about the investigation, the recording, all of it. Her mother was furious and proud at the same time. Her father cried again. Langa just stared at her. You pretended to be me? He said. At Hansung? Yes, and you maintained my grades. Better than maintained. I got you to number 4 in the year. He blinked. Number 4? You are welcome. He started laughing, then wincing because it hurt. You are completely crazy. I know. The police investigation moved forward. Min-ho confessed everything once he knew about the recordings. Tae-yang tried to deny it, but the evidence was too strong. Tae-yang got arrested, charged with conspiracy to commit assault and blackmail. Min-ho got a lesser charge for cooperation. The school was in chaos. The story hit the news. International student pushed off roof. Twin sister goes undercover to find the truth. It was everywhere. The dean called Thandi to his office. She went, expecting to be expelled, to be charged with fraud. Instead, Ji-woo was there, and his father, and a lawyer. Miss Dlamini, the dean said. He looked tired. This situation is unprecedented. I know. I'm sorry. You committed fraud, impersonated your brother, violated dozens of school policies. Yes, sir. However, the dean glanced at Ji-woo's father. Given the extraordinary circumstances, And given that you were investigating a serious crime, and given that the Kang family has vouched for your character, we have decided not to press charges. Thandi's knees went weak. Really? Really? Your brother's scholarship is safe. He can return when he is healthy enough. As for you, the dean actually smiled. Small, but real. Your medical school entrance exam scores were excellent. Your performance while impersonating your brother was impressive. If you choose to apply to Hansung properly, I think you would have a strong chance of acceptance. Thandi could not speak. Think about it, the dean said. You have time. Outside the office, Ji-woo was waiting. Your father did that, Thandi said. He made them agree, yes. Why? Because I asked him to, and because you earned it. You uncovered a blackmail scheme, solved an assault case, and got to number 4 in our year while pretending to be someone else. Ji-woo's mouth twitched. That is actually impressive, even for me. Wow, a compliment. I should record this. Do not push your luck. They smiled at each other. What will you do now? Ji-woo asked. Go home, be with my family, help Langa recover. Thandi paused. Then maybe apply to Hansung, for real this time. As myself, since they are making an exception. The only girl at Hansung, what a privilege. Good. The year will be more interesting with you in it. Are you saying you will miss me? I am saying you are tolerable. For a person who breaks laws. You helped me break laws. Minor detail. Thandi laughed. 3 months later, Langa was strong enough to travel. The family went back to Johannesburg together. Their small house had never looked so good. Thandi cried when she saw it. Home, real home. Langa recovered slowly. Physical therapy for his body. Regular therapy for his mind. The fall had left scars, inside and out. But he was alive. He was getting better. And he was funny about the whole thing. My sister has better grades than me, he would say to anyone who listened. At my own school. In my own classes. This is humiliating. I can make them worse if you want, Thandi would say. Don't you dare. I am riding this to graduation. Their parents hovered over both of them constantly. Too much food, too many questions, too much love. It was perfect. One day, an email came from Hansung Royal Medical College. Thandi stared at it for a long time before opening. Dear Miss Dlamini, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted to Hansung Royal Medical College with a full scholarship. She read it 3 times, then ran into the living room where her family was. I got in, she screamed. I got in, more crying, more hugging. Her father said, my girl, over and over, just like he had with Langa. Both my children, her mother said. Doctors, both of you. Not yet, Langa said. We have to actually graduate first. You will. I know you will. That night, Thandi and Langa sat outside under the stars, like they used to when they were little. Are you scared? Langa asked. To go back? Terrified. Good, me too. But you are coming with me this time, so it will be better. Plus you already know all my classes. True. I can tutor you. You are never going to let this go, are you? Never. I am the smart twin now. You were always the smart twin, just in different ways. Thandi leaned her head on his shoulder. He put his arm around her. Thank you, he said quietly, for what you did, for risking everything. You are my brother, my twin, my family. I would do it again. Please do not. Once was terrifying enough. She laughed. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Somewhere far away, in Seoul, Ji-woo was probably studying. Being brilliant and serious and occasionally almost funny. Somewhere in a jail cell, Taeyang was paying for what he did. Somewhere in her heart, Thandi knew everything had changed. She was not the same person who had cut her hair in a bathroom and pretended to be her brother. She was stronger now, braver, more sure of who she was. When she went back to Hansung, it would be as herself, Langa Dlamini, not someone's twin, not someone's shadow, just herself. And that was enough. 6 months later, both Thandi and Langa walked through the gates of Hansung Royal Medical College together. Students stared, whispered. The famous twins, the ones from the news. Let them stare, Thandi thought. She had nothing to hide anymore. Langa squeezed her hand. Ready? Ready. They walked forward together, into their future, into everything they had fought for. And it was just beginning.
Justice was served. Thank you so much for watching.